We now come to the Lifetime Achievement Award given to a distinguished individual who has made lasting contributions to design practice. Our 2010 Lifetime Achievement Award honors Jane Thompson. Jane, as many of you know, is an editor, designer, and planner who for 6 decades has explored how design relates to all of us. As founding editor of ID Magazine, Thompson became a critical voice in design, providing a strong female perspective in a male-dominated field. Through Benjamin Thompson and Associates, Jane has influenced urban revitalization projects such as Faneuil Hall Marketplace, New York City's Grand Central Station District, and Chicago's Navy Pier. Jane and Ben changed the retail environment by introducing international design through the postwar emporium Design Research. Here to present the Lifetime Achievement Award is 2003 National Design Award winner for Environment, Michael Valkenburgh.
I wanted Jim Corner to know that my daughter's here tonight and she looks 22 also. Jane Thompson is a legend. And I think if we were to imagine a metaphor of what all of the designers that were honored tonight might be like, it would be the sky in the summer at night, and that all of the designers are bright and twinkling stars. But the person who wins a Lifetime Achievement Award is the comet that's going across that sky, and the tail of that comet is the kind of light and inspiration that Jane's work and her life and her personality has created. I have only known Jane a short period of time. I sort of got hauled into, as I think a lot of people do who come into Jane's orbit, the reinvigoration of the Design Research Building in Cambridge last year, where this building of her firm, Ben Thompson and Associates, with her husband, Ben Thompson, this wonderful and probably the best new building in Boston, although it's not that new anymore, was sitting empty, and they reinstalled the Design Research Store as a temporary installation, and it brought this magic and brilliance to Cambridge, and especially Harvard Square, which has lost a little bit of its luster recently. Really, I want to say a word of what it was like as a young person to move to Cambridge in 1973 and to be in the vicinity of Ben Thompson Associates, their Design Research Store across from the office. And very importantly, I think, a way of working in a practice, a husband and wife, but also an environment of collaboration and collegiality, which I think very much characterizes the way that design practices have evolved. And I think that that is another one of Jane's extremely important achievements. I think Paula said well some of the really important achievements. I just want to mention to all of you that Jane has recently been one of the authors of a book on the Design Research Store, which is called Design Research, the store that brought modern living to American homes. I'm extremely pleased that the jury chose to give this award to Jane, and I want to offer Jane my greatest congratulations.
Your notes. He left his notes behind. I can read them for you. Thank you, Michael. This is really fun. This lifetime achievement thing, I had to say, hold on, wait a minute, not quite. But maybe we have an early phase lifetime achievement with more to come, as I'm still in operation. That goes for you, Milton. There are a few here to demonstrate that tonight. One thing I like about the lifetime achievement is that in doing this, it's convinced me that living longer is the best revenge. In fact, it's the best reward, actually. It's really been profitable. The process has challenged me to rediscover in my own background some of the real pioneers who were important in informing my long career, and as you know, it's been a long one. And I want to think back specifically on those who were not with us, because we've mentioned many who are, that were really important, and I hope there were names that will come to be remembered throughout this profession, of which of course my part was very diverse, from one end from journalism to large-scale master planning, all informed with the same kind of information. So I'll tell you a few names, I hope they ring. In my first after-college job in MoMA's Department of Architecture, Philip Johnson, Mary Barnes, and Ada Louise Huxtable and Peter Blake gave me a fantastic education. Alfred Barr was just down the hall. Mies van der Rohe was all over our department that very first year. He was installing the very first exhibition of Mies's work in America. That sort of thing was going on. Bernardo Radowski was editor of Interiors when I came there. His books and exhibitions were a lifelong experience with me, and I hope we never forget Our Clothes Modern, Architecture Without Architects, Streets Are for People. I think they're cosmic reading for this profession. Starting ID magazine, George Nelson was a brilliant supporting consulting editor. Well, there were two folks in Chicago, Jay Doblin and Richard Latham. If you don't know them, you should know their work. That were leading the pack with new directions of thinking about design practice and all sorts of futuristic things. As directors of the Aspen Design Conference, we created over too many decades, 5 or 6 decades, programs every year in collaboration. Saul Bass, Elliot Noyes, Lou Dorfman were some of my memorable collaborations, but in truth, my very best collaborations were with Milton Glaser and Ralph Kaplan, and we worked together several times, and they're with us still, luckily enough. This is not an obit. Edgar Kaufman Jr. may be surprised to know he was the founder of Good Design at MoMA when I was in the next office, sponsored my years of research of the German Bauhaus, which led me to many founders of modernism. Walter Gropius, of course, Johannes Itten, Marcel Breuer, and Joseph Albers, among many others. It also led me to knowing Benjamin Thompson, Walter Gropius's partner, thank God, and luckily for the rest of my life. One of my great collaborators, which has now become another collaborator, my daughter Sheila, who is in this audience and at my side. I think above all, I want to say for everybody who's spoken that we're all grateful for working with this amazing thing called the National Design Museum and its mission to educate not young audiences, but to preserve the present and past legacies of many of these really long-lasting, significant people, like those I've mentioned, and you all have many, so that every generation can learn about and from each great pioneer and be part of an ever-extending history of design. So we thank you, board, staff, Smithsonian, Cooper-Hewitt, for these many honors and for your leadership in design. One footnote. I hear there's a rumor that I'm the second woman to win this award, which is an absolutely wonderful honor. There was a first. I want to tell you that you can see from tonight's performance that the trend is moving in this direction. and that women are really being genuinely rewarded. Thank you.
What's happening behind you?
What's happening?
Look.
I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh, my friends, my children. Look at that. Well,
You know what, Jane, why don't we let you explain the significance of the Marimekko dresses and your connection to them, all of which are being modeled by your friends here this evening.
oh my goodness, this is fabulous. You may have heard that when we founded Design Research, my husband, Ben Thompson, searched worldwide for new things to bring to the very small market after the war. And he found this lady in Finland who was making these hand-screened, beautiful, hand-painted designs for raincoats. And her name was Armi Ratia. In fact, he discovered her at the Brussels World's Fair of 1958. If anyone's old enough to remember, it was a very significant World's Fair. He sent for her, and she came and brought and had this big exhibition, the very first in America in 1959. And she brought this, she wasn't doing many dresses, but she was doing patterns, and it was a fantastic addition to the whole library of things we sold at Design Research. Anyway, this thing grew, and there was a store, and Marimekko became a very big part of it. Each of these companies had its cycle and phased out. We had a hostile takeover. Someone stole them, everything we had. And she went through a cycle, died, and so on. And now the whole thing has come back. And there's a physical act of business revival of Marimekko this very moment. Yesterday, they opened their first new store in New York.
Yay!
Yes. And the lady... The lady who's collaborated with us in this whole exhibition is a collector called Caroline van Valkenburgh, sitting right there, who owns these Marimekko dresses. She's collected them year after year, lovingly off of eBay. And I mean, it's unbelievable. She's got a museum of dresses. And she showed up and dressed everybody from her collection. I'm sure that's what happened. Nobody told me. I just know.
Thank you.
So this is a very significant moment in the new phase of design in New York.
Welcome back, Marimekko. It's nice having that blast of color. Thank you, Michael. Congratulations, Jane.